Alright, today we're going to be making a guide about LuckPerms, okay? It's a Minecraft mod that focuses on permissions, especially for servers and such. It has no dependencies, but it is a plugin that obviously requires Spigot, okay? It's a somewhat technical guide, but I've seen several people needed it, so let's get started. First of all, we'll talk about how to configure the config.yml file, which we'll find in the plugins folder. We'll go to LuckPerms and here it is, okay? config.yml. Here they provide the wiki, Discord, bug reports. Every option in this file is documented and explained here, okay? So we have an explanation too. As you can see, we have this variable called server global, which is basically the server name, single server versus network, okay? If it's just one server, meaning there aren't multiple servers, we'd set the server to global. If it's a network, meaning there are several connected servers, it's recommended to use the server name, okay? This allows us to work with server context later on. Then we have the storage method, okay? Where the data is stored, right? H2 is local database storage, YML files are the .yml files, then MySQL and MongoDB. If you choose YAML, okay? I'll write it out. YAML basically offers the advantage of manually editing permissions in a readable format. After restarting, LuckPerms creates a YAML storage folder where groups and permissions are saved. There are also other options in the config.yml file, right? We have enable op, okay? For enabling operators. We have use server UUID cache, okay? This helps with commands using usernames if a player hasn't logged in since LuckPerms was installed. We also have, for example, allow-invalid-usernames, okay? Basically, if you use Geyser MC, Bedrock players can join with a dot in their name even if invalid. We can enable this, okay? There are many more settings. This file is very large. I just wanted to show you where it's located and some configurations. There aren't many more, but there are some you can take a look at. Alright, how do we use LP editor? Very well. LuckPerms includes a web editor, okay? Basically, we run LP editor as you're seeing, and basically this tab appears, okay? We can click yes to open it. It says, in order to trust this website and allow changes to be applied directly to your server, please run this command in-game. We click it and we'll run it, okay? Now it's connected. So here we have tabs like groups, users, and tracks. When adding a permission, concepts like value are used. Here we have the permissions, and if we want to add one here in add permissions, we work with the value, okay? True to allow and false to deny. The expiry in case we want it to expire after some time, and the context, okay? The context helps us limit by world or by server, okay? However we want, world, server, etc., okay? To apply the changes, we use the apply button, okay? After clicking add, and the editor will return a command like lp play edits, which we run on the server, and the changes will stay active, okay? Just like that. Also, as you can see, LP will identify permissions from different plugins, okay? Although they don't always appear, okay? Maybe there's no compatibility, but it will always try at least, okay? Very well. How do you create groups and weights in Minecraft with LuckPerm? In Minecraft with LuckPerm, you can manage groups or ranks by using commands or the web editor. In the examples, we can see groups like the default one that comes pre-configured. We could create others like VIP, admin, okay? The group name is the internal ID and doesn't need to be visible text, okay? Even though it's a rank, players don't necessarily need to see it. And the weight, the higher it is, the more important the group is. Not much else to it, okay? As you can see here, it says weight. It's set by default, but if we click add, we can change the weight, okay? Set it higher for bigger jumps. We can also add a suffix and more. I don't recommend renaming the default group, okay? I really don't recommend it. Mainly because everything is already set up with this name in the config section, so I don't suggest changing it, okay? At most disable it, or rather than disabling it, just don't use it and create your own, but it's better not to rename default, okay? To avoid confusion. Alright, how do we add and deny permissions in Minecraft with LuckPerms? LuckPerms assigns permissions to groups using specific commands, okay? To add or allow, well, within the world itself, we can use /lp group, okay? The group type. In this case, I only have default and VIP, which I created just because we'd select VIP, okay? we would say, well, set or permission, okay? Seems they changed it. Permission set. Oh no, nothing changed. I just can't read properly. Permission set. And here we would choose the permission type, okay? Like Minecraft true. Okay? If we want it globally, we just hit enter and that's it. If we wanted a specific dimension or game mode, we'd go into each of those sections. And if we want to remove it, instead of true, we put false, okay? Let's leave it as true so we have this permission added. And now if we go to VIP, if we go to VIP now, you can see we have Minecraft there. By the way, to update the page, which I've had to refresh, you can open the EP editor again, click yes, and that's it, okay? Just reopen it and you're done. Don't press F5 as it'll show some things are outdated, so don't complicate things, okay? Then a key difference is that LuckPerms allows us to deny permissions with the false value, okay? This means if you don't give a permission, they simply don't have it. No need to deny each permission separately, which I think is an advantage. We can also add permissions from here, okay? Commands, book it command, apply edits, create group, okay? So they can create groups, delete tracks, for example, with LuckPerms. We have the meta here to add prefixes, suffixes, and more. I can't go into much depth about permissions as it ultimately depends on what plugins you have installed. Alright, let's talk about how to assign users to groups, okay? So, to change a player's main group, for example mine, here it shows default group, right? I see meta, LP editor, blah blah, okay? Well, to change the user, we use /LP, got it? LuckPerms user, I'll use myself as an example. Parent set, and I'll make myself VIP, okay? Now it'll clear everything I had before and I'll become VIP, right? If I refresh, the VIP won't show up, so let's update the page with LP editor. Boom, yes. But this is something I don't really like, honestly, but there it is, VIP, see? It's recommended to use set to prevent a user from being in multiple groups at once, okay? LuckPerms allows multiple groups with add, but that can get complicated, right? Maybe you wanted to give a user OP, but they also have a lower rank, limiting certain actions. Then with OP, they see they have permission, you know? So it can get messy. It's also important to know you can execute these commands from the console too, okay? I mean the server console. So just keep that in mind. And if you want to verify permissions work, you can check directly from LuckPerms without any issues, okay? Or check that the person has those new permissions you've given them, which is another option. Very well, how do you set prefixes and clean meta in Minecraft with LuckPerms? Well, basically for each group to have a prefix or tag in Minecraft, you use the command /LP group, right? Then the group you want, like VIP meta set prefix, okay? That's to set a prefix, or if you wanted to add something else like a suffix or whatever. And here we would put the premium VIP prefix, right? So now we would have that prefix. So we can also use Minecraft's color and format codes, okay? Like the one I just did. See, I just put this in blue, or L, if I put L, look, it's bold. Of course, I don't know much about. Oh, look, A makes it green and H for some reason. H and C make it red, okay? Look, now we have it in red, see? And the bold didn't apply, right? Maybe bold needs to go first. Well, maybe I can only use one code, or it works differently. Let me check. It's one and the other, right? First one and then the other. Almost, right? I almost got it, I think. C and L? Okay, first color, then bold. It was tough, but not bad for my first try, right? So there we have it, okay? This way we've added that prefix. If you don't want the player's name stuck with unwanted formatting, you can change the color or final format. If you make a mistake or want to delete settings, just use LP group, group type, meta, and clear instead of set prefix, and that's it. Alright, how can we inherit permissions between groups with LuckPerms? Well, LuckPerms allows you to inherit permissions between groups, okay? We type /LP group, then the main group, for example, VIP, and we do parent add. As you can see, this command is very similar to adding a permission, right? And basically we put it in default, okay? And this way we'll make, well, let's assume that admin exists, okay? So this way we'll make admin inherit from VIP, okay? The practical idea is to put base permissions in default, so all players have them, okay? This lets higher ranks inherit that base, and you only need to add the other permissions, right? So we would do it like this, group default parent add VIP. Got it, right? Maybe I'm confusing things here. Let me double check. Because what permissions does VIP have that default doesn't? Quite a few, right? Let's do it. Let's open the page, the LP editor, and see if I've messed up. Groups VIP, okay, there are the permissions default. Permission group VIP, group default. It has swapped the parent groups. Let's try again. Let's see. Let's see if I do it the other way, VIP, and here I put default, which is what I think shouldn't be done, okay? Let's do it. Yes. It opens groups in VIP fine, but default. I haven't seen the permissions change, honestly. Although what I am seeing is that permission nodes don't change, but it is changing the group. That is true, right? It's swapping the parent groups, okay? So that, well, you can inherit permissions from one and then simply, now for example, they're set default to VIP, but the problem is that it makes me lose, I click add, and instead of adding it, it treats it like an exchange, you know? It sets it as set, which is not what I want, right? What I'd like is for you to add that permission to the group, which isn't what you're doing, okay? Now, yes, now with the set, it worked, right? Now with the set, it has worked. Okay, if I now put VIP with the set, because of course, set will definitely work. VIP groups, parent groups, well, no, it's not showing up, huh? It appears empty. Of course, since VIP doesn't have any group, it leaves me without groups, right? Okay, well, it's a bit confusing. I think it's easier to do it from LuckPerms, honestly, seriously. All right, how to display ranks in chat and tab with LuckPerms. As you can see, nothing is showing up right now, okay? And theoretically in users, ta, I have the VIP group, right? And something small should be displayed for me. So to manage permissions and metadata and make prefixes visible, you need extra plugins, okay? Like Vault, which provides an API for other plugins to read prefixes and suffixes. For the chat, right? For example, EssentialsX chat, which requires having EssentialsX installed. For the tab list, we would need, well, I think with Vault alone, that would be more than enough, okay? Then we should install these mods, copy them to the plugins folder, restart the server, verify with /plugins, and test by typing in chat or checking the tab list. So if ranks aren't showing, you're usually missing Vault or a chat format plugin, okay? Or a tab plugin. I'm going to try it now, okay? Let's see, here everyone will have their own interface, right? I'm saying this up front. What we need to do here is stop the server, okay? The server has stopped, though it doesn't show, and now we go to plugins. Look, it's almost showing up here in recommended, right? EssentialsX. All right, let's start downloading. And well, surprisingly, I've managed to do it. If we press tab, there's the server name, ping, used memory. I understand these are all things you can configure. Visit our page at domain.com. So there we have the date. All this I understand can be configured, okay? I think this is part of the tab feature. In the end, what I've installed is the tab and Vault. The Vault, I'm not lying to you, okay? At least the log hasn't shown any errors, and I've used a super old version. So, see, Minecraft chat hasn't changed at all, okay? So I don't really understand why we'd need a newer version. And I've also added, besides Vault, Essentials, and others, okay? So as you can see, it's working now, okay? You can see my rank, so it's that simple. All right, how does the track system work? Okay, let's delete the track here and basically, well, how do you create tracks and promote ranks? Tracks in LuckPerms function as a rank ladder to promote or demote players in an organized way. So for configuration, you create a track and add groups in order, for example, default, VIP, and admin. First of all, you need to create the track, okay? We can do it from here, create track, or basically /lp create track, okay? What do we want to add? Well, default, okay? The default track. We want to add VIP, and VIP already exists, okay? An admin, and now we'll basically do LP editor because otherwise this information won't update. We click yes. And here we have the tracks now, okay? Let's remove the VIP one, apply. And now it should show me that VIP doesn't exist, right? VIP, it has created it successfully. Let's see, there are the 3 tracks. Okay, so these tracks are currently empty. So we do /lp track, for example, default append default, okay? And it just says, Daiwa, the default group has been added to the default track. We would do the same. For example, track VIP, append VIP, okay? And this way, now if I reopen the LP editor, if I go to the tracks section, within default appears the default group, and within VIP appears the VIP group with all the permissions that the normal VIP group has, okay? Important. And now I basically do /LP user and the user promote, okay? And which track do I want to promote? Well, VIP. It can't be used because it's empty. Let's see admin. Or it contains only one group. Okay, let's put two groups. Let's see. Track VIP append default. The problem is that since I already have all the groups here to VIP, there it is. Promoting airlocks along track VIP from VIP to default, okay? And now that I'm default, what am I promoted to? To VIP. And if I promote myself again, I can't get it because I already have it, okay? So basically now I don't know if reloading the page would let us see parent group, VIP, and tracks. You can see it. I think it's this one here, right? No. Permissions group.vip. But anyway, that's how we do it. And if we want to remove it, demote, there are more sections, okay? Clone, edit, info, meta, got it? Meta would be interesting. Add prefix. L VIP player. Let's see if I go to VIP. So that's how we have it, okay? About how to promote and so on. And now to remove myself, instead of promote, it's demote, okay? And it would remove the VIP. I no longer have VIP, and I have the VIP group again. I know it's confusing since I had the brilliant idea of using the same name for everything. Also, in the Users tab of the editor, the list may change after restarts, but users with special ranks usually appear, okay? So that's how you can do it. Very well. How do you migrate GroupManager and export or import in Minecraft with LuckPerms? Basically, GroupManager and LuckPerms are plugins that do similar things, if not the same, right? They manage roles, users, permissions, and so on. So LuckPerms can migrate groups or permissions from GroupManager using the migration command, selecting the source plugin and adding the required argument. And the expected result would be generating converted groups or permissions, okay? Extra groups might appear that we can manually delete, okay? So basically we'd use /LP export or import, right? And the name. In this case, I put my name there, export gathering group data, blah, 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 found one unique user and it exports the information, okay? If we wanted to import it, we would do that too. On the other hand, if you disable OPs and lose import permissions, it's recommended to do it from the console by giving global LuckPerms permissions to the user, okay? Basically, you do this by typing /LP user, the username, permission set, and LuckPerms true, okay? This way, you have all permissions in a global context to make adjustments and other changes. I don't actually have a server or a list or the group manager, okay? But anyway, you've seen the import and export commands, and that's how we'd work with different values for players already registered in the group manager database and so on, okay? Obviously, we're transferring files from one place to another, which can be more or less difficult and time-consuming, okay? That's just how it is. Alright, so how can we limit permissions by world or server in Minecraft with LuckPerms? Well, LuckPerms allows limiting permissions through context in the web editor, okay? By world, which basically is when we take a permission, select it, and here in context, in key, we put world. There it is, I didn't see it, world, okay? Then here in value, we can put the world, the nether, or the end. And this way we make a permission, right? Like, this permission will only work when true only in that, well, if I had added the context world underscore nether, it's only available in the nether, okay? So we click add and the context appears there. We can also change it from here, okay? We can also set the dimension type, okay? Directly if we don't want to specify the world or the game mode, well, etc., okay? So that's how it works for a world. And for a server, if we're using a network, we would put it in the context section, okay? Instead of, let's remove this. Instead of world or key, we'll put something that I notice doesn't appear for me. The context key would be server, okay? I don't see it because I don't have anything set up, but it would be server, okay? Then we would enter values like survival, creative, and so on. Let's see, it looks like game mode, but I don't think that's it, okay? I understand if we already have the network set up, we'll see it, okay? So, permission like essentials fly can be allowed in creative and blocked in survival using true or false values as needed. Also, we can set permissions to expire so they're removed after a certain time without affecting the rest of the rank. And that covers LuckPerms, done the best way I could. I hope you liked it, okay? I know it's a very technical mod specifically for server creators, but I usually cover more general mods rather than plugins. But as I mentioned, I've seen many people who needed this. In the description, you'll find my artificial intelligence course for those interested, and I'll see you in future videos, absolutely. Alright, how do we sync a Minecraft network with LuckPerms and MySQL? For a Minecraft network, we should basically consider this approach. The Bucket version needs to be on each playable server. I think I'm using Spigot right now, but I also have Bucket, right? Yes, I have Bucket, okay? So it must be on every playable version, okay? There's also a small difference. LuckPerms, Velocity, and Bungee cords are for proxy plugin permissions, okay? And for server plugin permissions like EssentialsX, we need Bucket. So how do we connect all servers to the same MySQL database? Well, basically, we go to our server folder, okay? We go to plugins. As you can see, I'm using both Spigot and Bucket. Let's go. We go to plugins, then to the LuckPerms section, okay? As you can see, this one's for Bucket, okay? We're going to LuckPerms, we're going to config, and what we're looking for is storage underscore method. We can do this by pressing Control F and typing storage. Storage, settings, nothing. Okay, there we have it. We have the storage underscore method here, which is set to H2, right? Basically, what we need to do, instead of using H2, which is the default preferred option, okay? We should put MySQL, okay? Whatever storage method we're using, right? Up here, we also have the explanation that some methods don't require any configuration. And then if we want to go further, okay? Here we have MySQL. Here, each person uses what works for them, okay? But ideally for remote databases that require connection info to be configured, we'd use MySQL and then adjust, fill in the address, okay? The address, here we have it. The database and password, okay? All this needs to be filled in. And then adjust the server name to whatever type of server we have, okay? For example, survival, creative, whatever. After restarting, LuckPerms will show a message confirming the connection, and permissions will sync between servers using the same database, okay? So that's it. It's that simple.